I know I usually focus on hack and slash and beat 'em ups, but I'm gonna take a little detour. Since this was one of those games that fell into the group of no one actually talking about its gameplay, I wanted to show some love, because it's actually pretty good. Plus we can play as a ninja, so there's my bridge into talking about Agents of Mayhem here. But first, this is combat overview. In these series of videos I go over just that, the combat, to be a visual manual in a way, and to give a more in-depth look into what a game has to offer, because too many reviews gloss over gameplay, calling it a button masher or giving it the blanket statement. It's like DMC. We all know how a shooter works. Move with the left thumbstick, move our camera with the right thumbstick, aim down sights by holding L2 and fire by holding R2, and reload a square. And we got a melee attack with R3, good way to hit an enemy when we're out of ammo or to interrupt an enemy's attack. Now we got that out of the way, let's talk about our movement options. So we have a dash, just press circle while moving in that direction and you'll be on your way. Some will zoom around, but others will be a bit stubby in comparison. But here's a trade-off, you can zoom in the air. Yeah, so we got some air dashes. And how much you want to bet, I'm going to say we got Roman cancels too. Now to go back to the first agent, she can't air dash at all, but she can scale up walls instead, which others can do, just like how not everyone can air dash. So everyone's different and has trade-offs to their movement options. Some are better in the air while others are better grounded. So instead of having a dash, some will actually have a cloak. They can go into this no matter what if they're grounded or in the air. And this is super good to reposition yourself, especially since the enemy will instantly lose sight of you. Pressing X will jump, having us go into those air stuff. But we do have a triple jump. Now we can really zip with them dashes and move around with jumps, reaching high ground easy. But yeah, even in the air we can still shoot, dash. If you did any option, you can still jump if you didn't use all three of them. So real quick and simple way to explain this, our setup here is similar to Apex Legends, even though Agents came out 2 years prior, but yeah. We got one unique ability on a cooldown, an ult to build up, passives, as well as different movement options. So press R1 and you'll use your ability. Once it's used, go on a timer. These moves are unique to who you're playing, but we can change their properties. With Glory, for example, when we toss out her ability, it'll do little to no damage, but it'll restore our shields instantly. Or have it do a cool amount of damage as well as give out debuffs. We can have the unique move be more specialized to our preferences with these little changes. To do this, we just gotta go to the sub menu by tapping the touchpad. And if you played Borderlands before, this looks very familiar. Alright, so while we're here, we can add modifications to some things. First one, like I said, will change our ability. The one below it will add some changes to our weapon. Can have it deal more damage, but our weapon will heat up faster, or can have it have crits do more damage. In our final one, we can give ourselves passive buffs. Give ourselves passives that either buff our movement, our melee attack, or something to back up our ability. And at the bottom left corner is an ult. It's a very powerful move, and to use it, just press L1 and R1 at the same time. Just gotta get kills and it'll fill up. We also have these craftable tools we can toss out with L1. Kinda act as our grenades. They're limited uses and will go on a cooldown for a bit after using one. But it's something for us to toss out while we gotta reload or let our cooldowns reset, just something to cover our gaps for a second. But we also have ones that will give buffs or debuffs. But it's not just one person we get to play as, we got a whole squad to switch between. So to swap between agents, just tap left or right on the D-pad, and you can tell who you'll be switching to by looking at the bottom right corner. And if you hold left or right on the D-pad, you'll do a taunt. We can even switch mid-air too if you needed. And these agents have even more layers to them. So similar to Borderlands rock paper scissors system with elements, we got something like that here too. So if you shoot the wrong armor, you'll deal reduced damage. Some agents will hard cancel yellow armor, and some will destroy blue defenses. And we'll even unlock extra passive abilities to help counter even more enemies once they reach level 10. But yeah, you can really take things far enough to make an actual team comp to cover all these armor types. These agents will also have different weapons from each other too. We got a precision shooters using bow and arrows, up close and personal approach with shotgun, minigun where we gotta manage our heat gauge, and straight up just a sword. And because of the weapon, they'll play better at different ranges. So that's something else to consider when setting up a team. So we can recruit more people, and the cool thing is before deciding who you want to unlock next, you can actually see a rundown of their weapon, the skill, the ult, and their gimmick. And once you decide, they'll have a solo mission to introduce them, get a little animated backstory intro, and these missions act as a dedicated tutorial for them, so you can get a feel for the tools and what type of role they would play in a fight. So yeah, we can even hot swap them mid-fight. You can either switch between them for the enemy types, hard counter shields, for the range of the fight, or to use someone's skill for crowd control, debuff, or if they're just good at 1v1s. And similar to Borderlands, whenever we level up, not only will we get an overall stat increase, we'll be given skill points to spend on a choice of 4 perks that we can toss into. So now we can make builds basically for each and every agent, which is kind of wild. And if you really like an agent, you can spend a core to give them a powerful permanent upgrade. We got 3 to choose from, and you can get all 3 if you want. To get those cores, you just gotta do major missions, but if you explore the map, you'll find these shards, get 10 and you'll make a core. Now it wouldn't be much of anything if we got no one to use this stuff on, but luckily we go up against actual enemy types. We have our regular jobbers that fill the room and can toss grenades. There's tanks that'll rush you down. got seeking minds that'll try to corner you, snipers that'll deal damage if you're not careful, and one who will legit buff an enemy with temporary invincibility. So these enemies actually make an impact in a fight and will have you react to them in a specific way. Plus, with the rooms being set up like little arenas, we got places for enemies and us to move around, to use our multi-jumps, our dashes. It all comes together to promote a non-stop movement and knowing who's on the field. In our hub, we actually got this rec room to fight up against specific enemy types, fun playground of obstacles to move around to really use our stuff. It's really cool there's actually a spot just for the combat, but I wish there was like a wave-based mode because these unlock as you see a new enemy type, so these act more as tutorials for the enemy. So you just fight a small handful of them and then it's over. But doing these will give you cores and shards, so it's still worth doing. But yeah, that's Agents of Mayhem. This game has its moments of being an arena shooter, plus we got skills, multi-jumps, dashes for that quick movement, hot swapping between our whole team, who all have unique playstyles, all while juggling a room full of different enemy types. Like, this is what I'm talking about. No one mentioned any of this, so it makes you wonder if they even played the game. Because I find it hard to see this game as bad. It's actually really solid. It's not going to push you to Doom Eternal levels of skill, but damn it, this game deserves a shot. Because it's a straight to the point gameplay and that's what's good about it.